Here alongside Cardiff Devils player, assistant coach Luke Piggott after a 7-3 win over the Milton Keynes Lightning in the final regular season game in the season, Luke. And you've got to be pretty happy with the performance and the concentration of the guys, I suppose, to get through that last game, and with some good detail as well going into the playoffs.
Yeah, of course. I think collectively as a group we were pretty disappointed with the ways that we played against Sheffield, certainly the first part of that game, and against Manchester on Wednesday night. We made a real big point during the week that now is playoff time and we need to start preparing for those big games coming up. And credit to the guys, they got right back to work, and in a couple of games where it would have been easy to switch off this weekend, I think they really came through, worked on the important stuff, stuck to the details, and we came away with a bit of momentum here going into the playoffs now. And I think we're playing the right way, which for the most part of the games, which I think will do us good for the leading into the playoffs now.
I spoke with Andrew Lord last night about the challenges, I suppose, of winning the league title and then going into a game a couple of days later, then another game as well. Just for a different perspective on things, I suppose, from your side of things, how did you feel that period was, and what was it like to manage as a group of guys going in? It seemed to work though, because obviously the performances this weekend have been superb.
It's very, very difficult as a player to come from the highs that we had on Friday night, winning the league in Belfast. You know, it wasn't just winning the league; it was winning the league in their building after they won the championship of the Challenge Cup here. We felt really good about that, absolutely elated. And you've got to blow off some steam. You've got to let that excitement take over for a few days. Unfortunately, you know, the schedule is what it is, but at the end of the day, you know, you've got to be allowed to celebrate that. And, you know, luckily the management were understanding of that and allowed that to happen. What you do see is a knock-on effect in performance, of course, and it took a couple of games for us to get back into the swing of things. And you know, these games that effectively mean nothing to us are difficult to get yourself up for and stuff. I mean, tonight helps a little bit, having it as Andrew Lord's last game, and things like that gives guys an extra reason to play. And I think it was important that we put the two good performances in this weekend. Yeah.
I was going to ask you about Andrew Lord a little bit later. So as soon as you bring it up, we'll go straight to that now. All the signs were, at least, that we were picking up that this was likely Andrew Lord's last game in a Devils uniform. Who knows whether he might fill in at a later time, but of course post-game taking that lap as well. Just talk to us a little bit about the emotion in the room, what he has brought to this club when you consider where it was when he started off here as well, and as a leader of men, I suppose, and what you guys as a club and a team wanted to give back to him.
Yeah, obviously in my first year he was just a player, and we were just teammates, and you see a completely different perspective of Andrew Lord when he's a player only and a player coach. And I think it was evident from the way that he played and the way that he approached every single game as a player in that first year that he was here, that he would become an important leader and an important person in this organisation. And I think it's good that, you know, the likes of Todd Kelman and Neil Francis saw that within him, saw that passion, that fire, that strive to succeed at everything that he does, which then bring him in as the coach and sort of see that ingrained throughout the organisation now. Is just a beautiful thing to watch. I mean, whether this is his last game or not, we'll see. I mean, as you can tell, I think the intention is there, but you know what he's like. He's going to stay in great shape. He's going to work hard in practice, and still, just in the off chance that it might be necessary for him to come in, who knows? I mean, let's see what happens here. But I don't think what is a great loss on the ice is a great game for us on the bench. Having him there full time, you can see from this season the extra level of calm that he brings, the extra level of organisation, and it is reflected in a way that we played this year. And I think a big part of that was because he was capable of being on the bench for most part of this season and focus on his coaching side of things. But that being said, we will miss him as a player. We'll miss his passion. But who knows? We might see it again one day.
Well, we certainly got to see it tonight as a player. Indeed, you could see that the team were desperate for him to score. You could see that for the first time I think I've seen since he's been in a Devils uniform, there's been a little bit of a personal ambition as well. He's such a team player, has been throughout his time here, but you could see he was desperate for that goal tonight. Almost had it early on, thought he may have done. Quite incredible, really, that he cropped up, but the sort of bust a gut to get there in the end. True Andrew Lord style, to find a way to the net, pick up the pieces there, and to make that finish at the end. Sort of speaks to the guy he is. But what a fairy tale ending.
Yeah, like you say, what a fairy tale ending, and you couldn't pick a goal that epitomises the guy more than that last one in the game tonight. It may not have been a clutch goal, but you know what? It was worked the exact same way as many of his goals have been worked before. And I was absolutely overjoyed that he managed to get that on the scoreboard tonight, and I couldn't be happier for him to end on such a high note at the end of the game as well, the last goal. That was just fantastic for him and for everyone here, and I couldn't be happier for him. That hopefully that's a memory that'll stick with him for a long time.
Well, Luke, potentially more questions to ask about the game, but I think it's important tonight that we stay with that and we focus on Andrew Lord. I think a fitting tribute from you there to your coach, your leader in the dressing room, and I think that's a fine point to end there. Fabulous tribute from Luke Piggott to Andrew Lord on what kind of, in a way, became Andrew Lord night here in the last regular season game of the Cardiff Devils season. They'll be back, though, of course, against the Coventry Blaze next week in playoff quarter-final action. Luke, thanks for your time. We'll see you then.